Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tasmanian Takeover, the Ants Nest, for fans, by fans podcast, where we talk everything Tasmania JackJumpers. You'll know by now that this is not Birdo. Birdo is still in Sydney. Unfortunately, while he's in Sydney, he can't join the Ants Nest because the Wi-Fi in Sydney does not compare to the Wi-Fi in Kingston, unfortunately. But we are very lucky to be joined by a super special guest, former Signet Football Club under-15s coach and co-creator and admin of the Tasmania Devils Supporters Facebook group. Welcome to the podcast, Fred Webster. How you going, mate?
Good, mate. Good, mate. How are you today?
I'm very well. Now, a bit of a backstory about nearly exactly 10 years ago, Fred invited me to be a co-admin for a little Facebook group that was going to keep people updated on where the AFL team is at for the Devils. And it sat at about 120 members for 5 or 6 years. And then the Devils got named and the page exploded. How many members are we up to now, Fred?
21,000 and climbing. I mean, especially after the stadium got announced, it's just gone absolutely nuts. It's actually pretty humbling too, because from the starts to now is, I've always wanted an AFL team because I'm an absolute footy nuff, and to have that dream realized and to have this page as well is just such an honor, and it's a thrill to be part of something. It's going to be, I've got no words. It's going to be so good.
100%. We're counting down the days, and you'll probably be hearing more of Fred in the future, especially if you tune into the Devil's Den, which will be coming early in the new year. Me and Fred are going to be talking nothing but VFL Devils. I'm really excited about that. That's going to be a good one. Saying that, that's not what our listeners are here for today, Fred. I hope you're also a mad keen Ants fan. You're a JackJumpers fan from way back. All your Facebook posts of you in Jackie's jerseys.
Yeah, they fit me now, which is great. I love the Jackies. I've been a big Jackies fan ever since it came in. I've been a big basketball fan since I was a kid. I even remember games that I went to, now my Bankside Arena, of the Devils and Darren Stiff and all them, the big dunkers. And I also friended the Black Pearl, Cal Bruton Senior, and when I was living in Canberra, and just brought up so many cool memories and reaffirmed why I love basketball too. Really, it's such a great dude too.
How good, love it. We're looking forward to having more chats with a few of the either ex-Devils or JackJumpers. We've got to put the feelers out and get them on, because they're always really, really generous with their time and really insightful, some of the stories they've got. Look, let's move on. Let's get into it, hey? We are here. This is our review episode this week. We're here to review our game versus the Breakers over at Spark Arena in Auckland on Saturday. And it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't a great game for Fred to have to review this week. We went down 99-86. Jackie's lost. How did you see the game, mate? What did you take out of it?
Well, the first quarter, I saw our passes being telegraphed. Their defense turned into instant offense. I think it was like 7 or 8 dunks. So most of their scoring in the paint, which made it very difficult for us to get back and play that transition defense. It's super, super hard to play transition defense like that. They only took 1 3-pointer that game. So, yeah. quarter at
Oh,
New Zealand, and it he's frozen. Are we,
no, you're back now, mate.
yeah. Yeah, we took the one. They took one 3-pointer and made it. They only took about 4 or 5 in the first quarter. But what really killed us was that defense to offense from New Zealand Breakers. We just didn't have an answer for it in that first quarter, unfortunately.
It was crazy basketball. It was just played at a breakneck speed. It seemed
Was
like we were trying to slow the game down, but they were just running past us, and we looked old and slow at times, especially in that first quarter, because they would get the ball from a rebound and just lob it the length of the field. It was
yeah,
it was nuts to watch, and all the dunks. It was just a highlights reel on the New Zealand part, unfortunately.
yeah. From that game, I think they should be winning more games. They're super long and athletic. Their defense, it probably should be a little bit better than what it is as well. The New Zealand Breakers, but coming into the second quarter, if we're transitioning into the second quarter, um, we did slow that tempo down because we started to get into our sets. The screen pick and roll, um, releasing our shooters to get the mid range and into the basket, because our threes weren't falling much at all
Yep.
in the second quarter. So yeah, it was good to see them really slow the tempo down, which is how I think the Jack Jumpers like to play because of our bigs. We've got Bannon and Big Will to put them screens on and roll to the basket and free up um, all their guards to pull up for those jump shots and create a bit of space for those jump shots to occur. And it kind of did happen. We got on a bit of a roll in that second quarter. But yeah, that's what I've seen so far in the first half.
It's interesting you mention about the threes, because I was having a look at the stats and comparing them to last year during the week, and the main stat that really stands out. A lot of our stats are a lot more consistent than last year, but the one stat is our 3-point shooting, which has dropped from 35% down to 32%, which is like, that's not a big difference, but it equals about 7 points a game.
Yeah.
Now, if we're scoring an extra 7 points a game, we will have won an extra 5 games this year. So it is a big deal, and for some reason, I don't know what's in the water, but we're just shooting bricks at the moment. It's I don't know what it is. It's something they definitely need to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that a lot of teams have worked out our strategies of trying to drive in or set that pick and then flick it out to the person on the 3-point line. Um, Unfortunately, I don't think we've got the shooters as good as we had last year. We have Milton Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
He's money. Like, he's such a good player, really consistent. Yeah, and that if he's not getting them threes, he's driving to the basket and he's laying up, or he's doing those floaters. He's just, you can't replace that type of player one for one. You really have to search for that player. Um, you know, Jack McVeigh. Like, that's
Yeah.
when we lost him. That it's sort of, you could sort of see the difference between that year and then the next year into now. It just really is. It's glaring. But in saying that, we've got all the young guards. We've got
Mm-hmm.
DJ. We've got Hamilton. They're really good players. I think DJ especially is starting to get his fitness back, which is kind of showing.
Mm-hmm.
His legs are getting under his shot, and his mid range. I love a mid range player, like a
Yeah.
kind of old school Jordan stuff, pulling up that little fall away and just flicking it in, that, on the elbow. Really good shots. And especially when you got Will and Bannon, setting those screens and creating that space for him to pull up from that mid range. It's just like, if he keeps doing that, I actually believe that will start winning a lot more games as well.
I think DJ is known for his 3-point shooting, much like Ben Air is. I think if those two especially can start getting the ball around that 3-point line, then we are going to. I think we'll close that gap between the 35%, the 32%, relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? We're going to move on to our player of the match, but was there anything else you wanted to cover about the second half in particular that you saw that potentially we could improve on?
Yeah, well, in the second half, I don't know if you noticed or saw it, we had Majuk and Bannon starting to get on a bit of a roll. We started to really pull it back with those two guys. You got Majuk doing what Majuk does. I love him. He's one of my favorite players by far. He's just
will love hearing that.
Yeah, he's mid range. His length, his size. He's got good touch around the ring. Like he's just got this natural feel for the hoop. And when him and Bannon started to get a bit of a roll on, and especially Bannon as well, he was driving to the cup and getting some easy buckets, and we pulled back to 4, I think it was. Yeah, and it went into the fourth quarter, and we didn't really see too much from Majuk and Bannon. It just they sort of disappeared a little bit, and I think when the iron's hot, you got to strike it, eh? Like it was, I was really confused on why they weren't on a bit more, but I'm sure Scott, he obviously knows what he's doing. He's the man. And Tiger Campbell, he had a low game. He played 20 minutes of the game and only got 2 points. Whether that was the quality of defense and the quality of the opposition, it's going to make a big difference. But from all reports, I'm not going to say from who, like Tiger, he's such a fast learner. He's so keen, and we've seen it. He is a really good player, and I actually truly believe he'll bounce back for the next game. He'll be right. And I think sorry.
You can tell the team absolutely love him, even when Scott Roth mentioned him in the presser, because it did get brought up in the presser after the game. Scott Roth was like pretty quick to dispel it, and that he's doing what he needs to do, and it's only a matter of time before it's Tiger time.
Yeah, he's gonna break a game open by himself one game. He's got that quickness. He can open a game up with his passing too. I mean, I think we've seen little glimpses of it. He's really young too. Like he's super young. So if when he starts to learn, well, he's probably learned it now. He just had an off game this week. 5, 6, or even 8 points from him, and we've won the game. You know what I mean? Like he got 2 points. If he got a couple of threes in that second half, would be flying. So, but a bit disappointing. I was vigorously taking down notes on my phone, and I looked a bit angry, but I wasn't that angry.
Let's move on to our player of the match now. So you actually mentioned him just before. My player of the match was Bryce Hamilton, and we've got 2 players that we're going to talk about, and it was a bit of a tale of 2 halves against the Breakers, because Bryce came out in the second half and really tried to get things moving, and I don't know how much he was on in the first half, but it wasn't a lot. But he ended up finishing with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bryce is obviously a star. He's an absolute star of the competition. I'm just wondering at the moment if he is carrying too much of the load. Looking at the stats through the week, we are 3 and 8. So he's been our top scorer in 11 of our 16 matches this year, which is absolutely nuts. We're 3 and 8 when he's the top scorer, and we're 3 and 2 when he isn't. So I'm just wondering, is Bryce being forced to do too much and carry too much of the load when we've got some game changers who potentially could step up and do a bit more. How do you see Bryce's season this year?
Well, it's kind of, yeah. Bryce. I was just looking at his stats, and he got 9 from 23. It's 39%, just a tick over 39%. That's not really a good super game, but he's trying to create. He's trying to create some shots that he can get. I think he's trying to play himself in, and working within the system. I think if you watch too, when the offense breaks down, they ISO ball a little bit, and Bryce is usually the one that gets the ISO ball because of his ball handling ability, and he's got a really, really tight ball handling ability. He doesn't really turn it over from his ball handling, so I think that's why you'll see those stats, and he does score a lot because he has to take those shots, and it's it's kind of a burden on him for being such a great player. Like he's our guy, and when DJ comes along with him as well, we're going to have a really, really good team.
We've been saying this for a couple of weeks actually. When Bryce and DJ figure out their chemistry and where they both need to be, and one can stand up while the other one has a bit more of a quiet period. It is going to be a scary team. We just need to pull it together and I think bring back a bit of Jackie's basketball and just up the pressure a little bit. Saying that, speaking of defensive efforts, our fan favorite, every week we put up a poll on the JackJumpers fan page, and we let the fans decide who their favorite player was for the game. And this week it was overwhelmingly in favor of Captain Courageous Will Magnay, who I think had his best game of the season. He was an absolute monster, and he was up against it, playing against potentially the in-form player in the competition, Sam Menenga. So Will had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 massive blocks. Here's one here. While keeping Menenga to 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 12 assists. How did you see Big Mags's game?
I don't think he can do wrong in my eyes. He's so good. You know what? Will also, he should have been lumped into that resurgence in the third quarter too, because he started driving to the basket. He even took a couple of dribble drives as well. That's not very common for Will, and I'm sure a lot of people get nervous with him, but because I'm a bit of a super fan of Will, I just let him do what Will does. But he really does lift the team. He's ultra competitive, very strong. He likes to get into the grit of the game, and there's a triple drive now. Look at that, boom! I couldn't help but watch that. But yeah, he's the glue for our team, and that's why he's the captain. He's just grit and grind. As you know, he's definitely a Tasmanian. He wasn't born on the mainland. Sorry, mainlanders, we own him now. Please, thank you.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, he just does these things. He has these bursts where it looks like we're down and out, especially on the defensive end, and he just comes from nowhere and gets a block shot, or he changes a shot, or his presence just makes the opposing team's offense just think about what they're going to do next if Will's within that paint area.
100%. He's so good to watch. He's so physical. I just love it when he punts the ball into the crowd with a block where he just hits the sweet spot and it just goes a mile. And usually the player with the ball goes a mile as well. From all reports, and I can attest to this, he's just the nicest bloke off the field as well. I met him at the Perth Wildcats game. early in the year where he won. I said, "Oh, how does the win feel, Will?" And he just goes, "I love winning at this stadium." And it was just the nicest guy. Came over, had a photo with the kids, and just has, like you said, he's just a Tasmanian through and through. Just everything he's about, he just embodies the Tasmania. All right, let's move on. I want to touch on. It has been a very big week in Tassie sports with the triple threat. I'm going to call it the Jewels were announced. There was a rally which I believe you went to, and the stadium passed through Parliament. Tell us about the rally, mate. What was that like, Bernat?
Oh, it was amazing. It was we had some incredible speakers, and I'm allowed to mention names. Yep, cool.
Yeah,
David O'Byrne. David O'Byrne was my speaker of the day. He let people know that it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. Things are going to be difficult, but he's saying it's worth it. It's worth it for our future. It's worth it for our economy, and everyone there was just big smile on their face. And I might have snuck off to the Irish and had a Guinness with the wife, and you could just hear the buzz around just the Irish there. They were saying, "Oh, it feels like it's a match day." Everyone's got their Guernseys on, and then it was really really good. Despite the kids getting all wet and wanting to go 3/4 of the way through, but it was really good to see the speakers there. It was really well organised. One thing I was really impressed with, and it might be a little thing, but I think it's huge. When it was cleaned up, when it was packed up and everyone was away, it was spotless, clean. There wasn't any rubbish on the ground. It was really well. It was really good, and it was good to see because people would look for any excuse to bring the Yes crew down, and it was just amazing to see. And there's music playing and kids kicking footies, and it was unreal. It was really good, and you could just tell by the vibe. And I was quietly confident it was going to happen anyway, but I was just like, it's going to happen now. Like you got 15,000. I said at least 10. But there was easily 15,000, and people that didn't want to be in the rain were over at the pubs anyway. So it was
exactly right.
Typical Tasmanians, I suppose.
So good. It was so good to see. I bought a virtual ticket. I was there in finances rather than in person. But it was I was watching it live on the live stream as well, and the scenes were amazing. All right. Well, that is all we have time for this week. Please do keep an eye out for our preview show, which is coming up for our game against the Cairns Taipans. Was there anything you wanted to close with before we go, Fred?
Just keep an eye out on our footy page. I know it's a basketball podcast, but keep an eye out. We'll be launching our podcast pretty soon for the VFL year, for VFLW as well. Hopefully we can get some interviews and some other cool stuff happening. And sign up for the page if you're a Tassie fan and a Devils fan. Go Jackies, go Devils.
I love it. All right. On that note, thank you for listening. And as always, march on, Jackies.